Hello and welcome here in Kepler's garden in Linz, Austria, the place where the Ars Electronica 2020 edition is taking place. We would like to introduce you and invite you in a little journey where we want to show you the main elements of this year's festival.
The main elements are different parts of exhibition projects. We have the Starts Prize winners, the best what this combination of art and technology for the benefit of society can offer. Then we have the projects coming from the university. And besides this, we have a garden exhibition of an incredible range of artworks that are exhibited, not inside, but outside.
Yes, and many different aspects are there to find. One main aspect is Create Your World, which is the festival for the younger generation. What they are going to do there is not to exhibit in the traditional sense. They are actually exhibiting themselves. They are using this festival in this time of a pandemic to meet for a social gathering. And then we have the LIT projects, a collaboration between the local institutions and the creatives, artists from outside. With those, we want to show that there are alternative ways for creating innovation.
Exactly, and then the garden exhibition. So this is the third part of the trias of those exhibition projects. And they give an additional, not just an aesthetic aspect, but also quite a humoristic one. When you walk through the parks, when you meander around the buildings, and you find artwork that highlight very ecological topics, very pressing ones, but also have a charm in the way they introduce those topics. And as as the last part, actually, we have an insight into our online festival, into the world of the more than 120 partners.
Yes, and back to the place. This all is happening in quite a wonderful place. If you remember back where the last edition took place, in the cool environment of this post-industrial, post-city, we landed now in a wonderful environment, close to nature, close to the elements, close to rain, and we hope you enjoy this.
We are standing here amidst the highest building of the campus, underneath the Somnium. And on our way here, we passed two interesting artworks. On the one side, Lochtopia, and on the other side, the Dome.
The Dome is actually a result out of a collaboration among three partners. It is a research collaboration between the JKU, the local host, and the famous Vienna Art School, the Angewandte, and us as those doing the festival.
Right now we're standing in front of an artwork from the Austrian artist Felix Lenz. It's called Political Atmosphere.
The piece is in so far very important for us because it's on the one side a super ironic piece fitting perfectly in this environment, playing with this metaphor of a garden. But on the other side, it creates an associated space beyond that directly links us with environmental problems, those problems that the entire global society is currently facing. His point, in our understanding, is that scientifically there is not too much proof about humankind's impact into environmental problems. And with artistical expression, he creates an environment where the density of the flights being captured by an antenna in real time here in the region is directly related to a signal that actually every citizen in the world knows. It is a siren, it is the signal for a catastrophe, for a disaster. So whenever this density is reached, the signal tells us, the siren tells us that actually we, us as humans, are causing environmental impact in a negative way. here now on the highest spot of the Ars Electronica Festival 2020. It is the Somnium, which is a spectacular spot on the rooftop of the highest building. It is a platform, a Sonnendeck, so to speak, where you can actually prove whether you're a machine or humankind. Every human has these moments of contemplative silence when you enter this place and when you enjoy the view, this incredible view into this wonderful country, Austria, and to this wonderful city, Linz.
And we don't just have a view into the city and country, but actually into the world, to our 120 partners and more. And this work behind us actually represents this very much. It's called Air on Air, and it's a work coming out of the University lab from Yasuaki Kakehi in Tokyo. Mm-hmm. And he is not just a regular partner coming usually here to Linz, but he actually sent us his work as a replacement for him not being able to be here. And that interface that we can see behind us is actually an interactive one where you can go and kind of blow bubbles into the air, not just in Linz, but actually also in Tokyo. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it is these telematic portals represented by artistic projects that you will find all over the place. It is that it is the proof actually that technology can link us also in times like this in a quality where almost the level of empathy and emotion can be reached. And there is another piece up here, also called Somnium, like the place, site-specific piece can only be presented here on the spot. It is simply said that an artificial intelligence is impressed, just like us humans, from this view, from this spot, and starts to think about the time we are in, puts in counterbalance hymns of Austria, of the region here, of Europe and others, and ends in a bitter-sweet reflection of the state of Europe, of the state of freedom, of the state of democracy. Hello, Crystal.
Thank you.
This is the next stop of our journey in the Kepler's garden, and can you please tell us where we are?
We are in the heart of the OIZ, the Open Innovation Institute, that was newly established by the Johannes Kepler University to really focus on innovation and new approaches.
The place where we are now is the lobby of a very interesting project and research institute here from the local faculty. Professor Martina Mara's research topic is robot psychology. So how would encounters look like between us humans and machines? And which type and nature those encounters should have, so that at the end machines would stay in the position to serve and support humankind and not vice versa.
Exactly, and what in her project, that is actually Robot Talking to Me and Cobot, what you can encounter here is actually a survey that brings you into the environment of a VR, where you can play a game that puts you in that position of actually collaborating with robots, of working together with them and being able to judge and tell their reactions also, as well as waiting for their way of reacting on you. And it's quite interesting because you will see how you react here yourself and what you feel towards that robot, whether you feel that robot should be a little bit like a human being, should have some sort of empathy, or should rather be really a distinguished one and act as a robot as we would expect a robot to act.
Yeah, entering an age where we are talking of autonomous machines and systems, I think this question Professor Mara is raising is becoming more and more important. Still, we are in the Open Innovation Center here at the JKU campus in Linz. Was it before actually a wild mashup, a wild mix between scientific prototypes, the lit projects, artistical perspectives? Is it actually a place where we have a lot to do with key research topics of the faculty here, represented by the lit projects? Was it Martina Mara before? Are we here now in a very special room? On top, there are other rooms. So it is about autonomous driving, it is about plastic recycling here, it is about the computer psychology, and it is about the relationship between nature and mathematics.
That artwork where we're standing in front of is coming out of the Faculty of Theoretical Physics by Matthias Gartner and Vera Tolazzi. And they applied to this open call from the university, and I think expectations were high, but they are far beyond all of our expectations. Here, the topics is actually random numbers. And what you can see are 27 dices that are rolling across natural materials, starting from moss, through cinnamon, through chilies, and depending on what number then is on the dice, they start to calculate, or they want to end up understanding what this random, or what random numbers are, but on the other side also ending at some point where P potentially could be located. The most interesting part is that we have an art project here that is coming out of this connection between the collaboration of scientists and artists, and this can really be considered as a best practice example.